Hi, welcome to Matters of the Heart and Soul. I'm your host, Janie Charlo. Matters of the Heart and Soul is a podcast to raise awareness and awaken humanity to all that is within. We want to be a beacon of light on your life journey. Hi, welcome to Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast. I'm your host, Janie Charlo, and I'm co-hosting with Russell Bruce today.
Hey, Janie and everybody out there.
All right, so I am so excited about today's show. We are talking about the law of attraction, and it's going to be some really great information with Miss Constance Arnold. So welcome to the show, Constance.
It's an honor. Thank you so much, Janie and Russell.
All right. So let's talk about Constance here. Constance is a renowned motivational speaker, author, leadership trainer, and success coach. For the past 25 years, she's been a private training consultant and has literally changed the lives of thousands of men and women around the world. Currently, she hosts the Think, Believe, Manifest show on the Law of Attraction radio network. Her show broadcasts on 20 internet stations and in 300 countries. Globally, she has numerous loyal fans, including 10 million listeners and over 500 archived inspirational and motivational empowerment shows. Constance has her bachelor's degree in business administration from Tennessee State University and her master's in counseling from Clark Atlanta University. Some of her clients, which is a long list of Fortune 500 companies and organizations, Delta Airlines, U.S. Post Office, Postal Services, Russell Simmons Success Tour, and some of the guests that she's had on her show, which I listened to since back around 2009, include Dr. Joe Vitale of The Secret and Dr. Dennis Kimbrough, author of Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. Constance Arnold is also my success coach. And like I said, I've been listening to her show since 2009. Stumbled upon it back in 2009 when I lost my brother and my mother in the same year. And, just searching for things to keep my spirit uplifted. And I stumbled upon her podcast show, fell in love with the content and the guests that she's had on there. And, it's been a part of my life ever since then. So a lot of you people out there that see a lot of the quotes and so forth that I post on social media, a lot of them come from guest speakers and even Constance herself. Constance, once again, welcome to the show. And how are you doing?
Thank you. I want to meet that person you were reading about. So I'm so honored. I'm so honored to be on the show today.
There you go.
We're very excited to have you here. I'm definitely excited just to kind of be in this energy, in this conversation.
Yeah. So how are you holding up with the coronavirus and all the hoopla that's going on in the world?
Well, it's been a major adjustment for me. And one thing that I'm really coming from a psychological clinical background, I'm telling people to really allow themselves to identify and feel their feelings because of the abrupt change, the radical transition that's happening. And for me personally, it has not been easy. I had two gigantic leadership training conferences that I was supposed to really train psychologists, counselors, therapists, mental health employees that was abruptly canceled. And so that was a lot of time, a lot of money. And so I've had to shift my thinking, change my mindset, and really change my entire routine. So I would say, just personally, I am still in the process of allowing myself to feel my feelings and adjusting.
Okay, that's very valuable information. So let's kind of lay down some framework here so that we could build off of it. Law of attraction. Everybody out there has probably heard of the law of attraction. Different people have their different spin on it. Define to us what law of attraction means to you.
Oh Lord, y'all asking me a hard question. I'm gonna give the listeners two or three different ways so that they can understand it. So one way is what you think, feel, and believe you create.
Mhm.
Another way is whatever your dominant thinking, feeling, believing, saying, and I like to add, and whatever emotional state you are living in, eventually you will attract like to you.
Mhm.
And then I want to say, whatever you radiate outwardly in your thoughts, feelings, the images in your mind, and words, you attract into your life. So it is a universal law that works all of the time, even if you don't think it's working. So Janie and Russell, so right now, you know, if people are thinking and feeling and saying and believing, oh my God, I'm going to lose my house, or oh my God, what am I going to do? Whatever they dominantly think, feel, believe, and emotional state that they live in, eventually they will attract the like vibration to that.
Wow.
Wow, let me
Yeah,
let
that's a
that sink in.
powerful. Yeah. So,
And I broke it down so many ways so that people could really, get it. And
that's a
so
great breakdown.
and so you because our thoughts and our feelings eventually become things. So if you're thinking and your energy and your beliefs right now are the economy is really rough, and I'm not telling people not to be in denial, but some way that those thoughts, feelings, and emotions need to be interrupted with thoughts, feeling, and energies like, I don't know how, but I believe my highest good will come to me after this. I believe that during this time that the ideas, insight, and revelation that I need for me and my children will be downloaded to me. So you see how I just interrupted for those moments a different energy, a different way of thinking and belief around what's going to happen in my life.
Wow.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question because it just made me think of something. So
Okay.
a lot of people have heard of the law of attraction, and sometimes they get frustrated if they don't see things happen like immediately. Can you speak on the time delay? Like I noticed the more conscious I became, the quicker
The
things manifested.
manifestations. Yeah.
Can you speak on that?
Yeah, I can. Hey, because yours truly has experienced that. So the law of attraction is always working. You can't see it, you can't feel it. And so if you are unaware that it is working, either for you or against you.
Mm.
And so it's kind of like we know that the law of gravity is working. We can't see it, we don't talk about it. But if I were to stand on the top of my house and say I'm getting ready to walk on the ground and I'm gonna walk in the air, that wouldn't happen. So when people say, well, it's not working for you, for me, yes, it is. So if somebody's believing for more money, let's just use money because that's where people are. And they have been saying, I'm a millionaire. I'm a baller. I got it going on. I have a millionaire mindset. So consciously, that sounds really good, but we have to know that our subconscious mind drives 95% of our behavior and direction. So if in your subconscious, Russell, for the last decade you've been thinking poverty, thinking lack, thinking because I'm a minority, thinking because I don't have a degree that I can't make more money, thinking that thinking and feeling and talking uh, that I live paycheck to paycheck. even though outwardly you may begin to say, I'm a millionaire, I'm a baller, I got it going on, you have not reprogrammed your subconscious. And whenever your subconscious is up against the conscious, it dominates, it always rules.
Yeah.
So anybody who wants change will have to first reprogram their core beliefs and their subconscious mind. And that's where people miss it. So when people, Janie, when people saw The Secret and they were like all excited, and I'm for that, that was just conscious thinking.
Right.
That just helped us to awaken.
Right.
But you have to reprogram those old beliefs, what your mama said, what you've experienced,
Yeah.
etc.
It's almost like unlearning everything you were ever taught and relearning everything.
You said it so eloquently. That's exactly it.
Yeah. So, Constance, and I know there's like a million ways to reprogram yourself. What are some of the best techniques for people, one, to become aware that, oh my God, I'm living in the past, I'm living in old traditions, I need to reprogram my subconscious? What are like some of the tips you
Okay.
give?
Okay, great question, Janie. And so I would say, first of all, look at your patterns. What do you always do? I use me for an example. I don't mind putting my life out there. Um, just about a decade ago, I'm like, I'm ready to get remarried again. But I kept attracting the same kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's up with this? It was always a guy who used to be rich and trying to get himself together. A guy who used to have a great business, and of course I had the skills to help him build his business, etc. So I had to take a look at that pattern. What's showing up in a person's life? So personally, I realized it had nothing to do with the man, because you can always tell what you truly believe by your choices. You never choose any higher than how you see yourself.
Mhm.
So for someone like me, if it's man, money, job, if you always get fired from your job, the first thing you need to do is take a look at your core beliefs. So our core beliefs are stuff that we heard in our childhood, our experiences, just those dominant thoughts that we've been thinking over and over: not good enough, not smart enough, I'm a minority, I can never do that, etc. So you have to really look at your core beliefs. And my core beliefs around men, Russell, which I never would have believed, was way deep down on the inside of me. I felt like that I wasn't good enough to attract a man who really was already healed and whole and just wanted to be an equal partner with me.
Mm.
Now, I would have bet you $1 million that that wasn't the truth. But whatever is showing up in your life, you need to take a look at it. So you take a look at your beliefs around money, you take a look at your beliefs around your job, and your beliefs around what you can be, do, and have. So how do you do that? I say write it down. Look at, I live paycheck to paycheck. I'm always attracting abusive men and or women. And then you choose a new truth. What's the real truth about this situation? The real truth is that I am worthy, I am deserving of real love. So you're reprogramming that subconscious by that new truth. So you're going to think it, you're going to begin to say it out loud. You're going to begin to believe it. Um, and then you're going to begin to imagine yourself having that. And so it's the reprogramming with new beliefs, it's thinking about it, it's feeling it, it's believing it, and then imagining it. Because we know that the subconscious is most impacted by images, and emotion 60,000 times faster than just thought alone. So I think I broke it down pretty good.
You
Find out what those core beliefs are and then reprogram it. So you're going to be reading things around money and abundance. You're going to be listening to new material, videos, YouTube on abundance and prosperity. When you go to sleep at night, you're going to be reprogramming your subconscious, shifting and changing that because your subconscious is most open just before you fall asleep at night. So those are some simple ways. And I'm just going to be honest with you. It won't happen overnight, but it will happen because whatever you dominantly think, feel, and believe, eventually and inevitably, you're going to attract that into your
Oh
life.
my
Let
God,
me,
that was amazing.
yes, it was.
I just want to ask you really quick about the
What they,
um,
it was? Thank y'all.
I mean, we talk about this stuff all the time. We study it. I mean, this podcast is a part of a manifestation, so I totally get
Mhm.
it. The imagery part. So when people are doing vision boards and things like that, those are all part of helping to recreate the dominant and core beliefs.
Right. Let me add two vision boards. Now, I believe in vision boards. I understand the power of imagination because we really live our lives in images. Our life is really a movie, if you get
Oh,
me. And so I tell people, do a vision board, but then look at your vision board with emotion. An example of that might be I love the beach and I love going to like a little chalet on the beach or hotel on the beach. And so if I have a picture of that on my vision board, I'm just not going to just look at that. I'm going to embody that.
yeah.
I'm going to feel that. I'm going to live from the end of that. So that means when I'm visualizing, I'm sitting in my chair. I do this every morning. I'm sitting in my chair. I'm hearing the waves
Yeah.
From my cottage. I can hear the seagulls flying across my balcony. I hear people talking. I see the blue waves coming in and out. I feel the wind coming through uh, my hotel room, blowing the curtains. Could y'all feel
Oh,
that?
Oh,
And
definitely.
and so that's the difference in just having a vision board rather than living from the pictures that you have on that vision board.
So would you say it is the alignment or the coming together of the heart and the mind, where the images in the mind meets the emotions in the heart?
Absolutely, because everything, that's great insight, Janie. Everything is really heart centered or the core of your being.
Yes.
And so I say when the two merge, when the core of your being merge with emotion and imagination, something getting ready to happen.
wow.
Manifestation. So let me give a reverse example of that. Let's just say if somebody has been in an abusive relationship, and now let's just say somebody was married for 25 years and then the other person left, and then the one partner says, oh my God, he left me, he hurt me, and that person talks about that and feels that and walks in the emotion of that and has an image of that. They're really being stuck where they are and staying in the past. That's the reverse of creating your manifestation, because you cannot create something new in the old vibration. Because remember, your vibration is what you radiate outwardly in your thoughts, feelings, images, and words. Because the law of vibration is really the higher law. It's really higher than the law of attraction.
This
And so if people
It,
go
life.
ahead.
it really is. So Constance, so I always love when when it's been broken down to the most
Yes.
simplistic terms. So when you speak of, not only do you see the image, but you have to get into that
Mhm.
emotion, and emotion is energy in motion. So,
Great.
and when you talk,
You sound like an engineer, Russell.
I tell you what, though, I'm not an engineer by accident. I think I was born to do what I do because it helps me actually I
Uh-huh.
understand spiritual energy a lot easier. Like, for example, like Wi-Fi energy, you don't see the Wi-Fi signals and waves that we walk through. Like, if we text you a picture, you don't see the picture traveling through the air, but you receive it into the phone. It's no different than us sending out signals through prayer or imagery. You're asking the divine for these things to happen, and something responds to you. So it's the same way. I remember when my son was in like fourth or fifth grade, I went and they wanted an engineer to come speak and break down the engineering process, and I went and did it. And I actually talked to the kids about Wi-Fi signals and how it's similar to like us praying and communicating with God and God answering our prayers and sending us energy. You know what I mean? It's like
I know what you
you can't
mean.
see it, but it's constantly working and in action, and you could feel it.
Well, in the law of attraction, everything is energy. And so, with the law of attraction, a lot of people say, okay, I'm just going to think it. No, you have to think and feel it because we never think. If I say, wow, I just won $1 million, there is emotion behind that. For people who have been furloughed or downsized or don't know what's going to happen with their jobs. They may say, wow, I'm so scared. So there's always emotion behind that. So for listeners, if they could emotionalize, I think I just made up that word. If they could emotionalize their pictures and their image and their beliefs, that really accelerates manifestation.
So what are your thoughts on, like people want things and they think it's as simple as, okay, if I want it and I just say I want it, I want it, I want it. But it's like the fact that you don't get what you want, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are.
Right. Well, the truth of that is you may want abundance, but you have to get in the vibration of
Which would
abundance.
be,
You can't, you can't,
I
go
was going
ahead,
to say, which
Jane.
would be gratitude, grateful for everything. Everything you already have is abundant. You're already feeling abundant.
Right. And so let me break that down. That's great insight, Janie. And so what is a vibration? A vibration is energy, it's thoughts, it's feelings, it's emotion. So if the vibration of abundance is there's always more than enough, all of heaven's resources are attracted to me, that person has to begin to think, feel, and believe from a place of abundance rather than lack.
Yeah.
And so I'm going back to the reprogramming again as people begin to reprogram their thinking around. I may not know how, but there's unlimited possibilities and abundance in the
Yeah.
universe. Um, and I love what Florence Scover Shin says to me. She said, money comes to me easily and effortlessly under grace and perfect ways. So as people begin to reprogram their thinking and their subconscious, they will begin to shift from one vibration of lack, scarcity, not enough, gradually to the other vibration of plenty, more than enough, and abundance. And it is a shift. It's really a shift in consciousness, but I'm not going to go there. So it's kind of like bubble number one is lack,
Yeah.
but we want to get over here to bubble number two. But in order to get over there, you have to think, feel, and believe a certain
Yeah.
way. So the more people can read, I'm going back to that, read, apply the principles, begin to baby step your way toward behavior change. The more you can imagine and feel and believe, the more you will begin to live in the vibration of what you want. Really, you have to become the thing.
Yep.
And then from that state of being in the vibration of abundance, all of everything that's attached to that vibrational state will come to you.
Mm.
Wow.
Like I feel my whole heart center is just like jumping. Like it's just like I just want to get up and just like start moving and like because I feel
Let's do a
I
dance.
feel all of it just right in my heart center.
Well, let me just tell you about my own life personally. Around money, since we know everybody's really focusing on money now. I made a lot of money. I had major contracts, didn't even have to bid for them year after year after year. Millions went through my hands. But I would say I still had a lack mentality.
Mm.
Outside, I looked like I had it going on, but I didn't know anything about investing. I was a big spender. I would say, come on, Jamie, come on, Russell, I'm paying for everybody going on this cruise.
Mm.
And so my vibration was not one of abundance. I thought it was, but it was not. So the second time money came to me, I had changed my consciousness. And so that's why you have basketball players and football players who sign $50 million contracts, and then 5 years later, they don't have it because they never shifted into the vibration of abundance, because we know that it's inside
Yep.
first. It's the radiating out of who you really are. So that's just my own personal story.
Oh, I totally agree with that. It's just like anyone that's wanting love who have not first become love, they won't maintain that
Mm-hmm.
relationship because you have not become love or whole within yourself to maintain. Like you said, if you can't maintain that vibration, you lose it.
It's all about.
Yeah, and speaking of love, I'm just telling all my business today. Must be in the coffee that I'm drinking. I don't know. But even when it came to love, I would meet a guy, and I because when you see me on the outside, okay, she cute, at least I think so. She's cute, she's smart, she's spiritual, she's interdependent. But then when I would get in a relationship, I became really clingy and needy.
Mm.
And I didn't know that, but that was because I was looking for love outside of
Yep,
me. And I realized that you can't go to the arms of a man to get only what you are yourself.
that's true.
And it was only when I really began to deeply love myself, love my life, love and accept who I am, that real love came to
And that's the
That is
truth.
so true because communication is really nonverbal. So most people are gonna treat you the way you treat yourself.
I know it. And you guys, Russell, y'all can pick up on stuff. So
We're
I was just,
runners.
I thought I was vibrating out something, but in the law of attraction, you attract who you
Yeah.
That is
are.
so true.
Mm.
Yeah. So now I have a man in my life, who loves me deeply, but I was loving myself, loving my life, loving my friends,
Yes.
a radical acceptance of who I am, that who I am, just where I am, is enough.
Yes.
Let's talk on that for one
Well, I
second.
was just a
Okay.
quick comment. And even when that man is no longer in your life, you are still loved. You still left with the love you've always had for yourself, which ultimately comes from the divine anyway. You're just a vessel for that
Absolutely.
love to radiate out. And Russell and I, we talk about it a lot.
About capacity.
Love is the highest emotion and energy out there.
Well, it was only, I know a lot of people are on different spiritual levels. I say I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, but it was only when I realized how much God loved me
Yes.
that I began to love myself. It took me a while. I had read it in the Bible, but when I realized, boy, God, the spirit source, loves and accepts me right where I am, loves to be with me in all of my challenges, all my insecurities and imperfections. it was that radical acceptance of who I am and where I am is enough that's very attractive. And to be honest, men be trying to hit on me all the time
Oh,
because I'm in that vibration.
exactly.
You know, it don't have nothing to do with
It
looks,
does.
what size you are, your age. It has to do what are you vibrating
Yeah.
out.
It's that energy that you put off.
That's the key. I think
Mhm.
once you realize, and even, I'm kind of like you, I'm not religious, into rituals, very spiritual, but you realize that you are the source is a part of you. So in essence, you are love. And that is
Yeah.
almost the level of vibration that we all have to achieve. And to get there, it requires healing and looking at yourself and realizing, why am I clingy in relationships? Why am I needy? And changing those paradigms and those.
So true.
Yeah.
You know, and something else just hit me when you said, uh, I am love. God is in me. I am love. The same thing with money. Just before I got on this call, I was sitting thinking, I am the God of abundance is in me. So I am
Yes.
abundance. I was just thinking
Yeah.
that I am
Yeah.
rich. I am prosperous because the I am is in me.
Yes. And currently, right now, with COVID-19, I am perfect health. I mean, I say it every single day,
Yeah,
every day.
So, so
right.
let's briefly talk on that about, well, you're in the healthcare industry. So like vibration and disease. So you hear a lot of holistic doctors talk about food and energy, right? Electric foods like fruits and vegetables have higher
Yeah.
vibrations, whereas like things like the different meats and dairy products have very low electrical output. So it's all dealing with energy and vibration. So how do you feel about like what role does diet play in the law of vibration?
I'm so big on diet, but I tell people I'm not giving up my heavy whipping cream for my coffee. But
Well, I'm with you on that one. I still put my cream in the coffee.
I'm not giving that up. It's so interesting. I'm a big whole foods, healthy foods kind of girl and have been for years. And it's something, sometimes when I travel, I get off. And it's something if I can drink a green drink, and when you drink it, you feel the aliveness of
Exactly.
that.
Mm-hmm.
You feel that versus if you eat a hamburger and fries, which is kind of like blah dead food.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that during this time, and I know a lot of people may not have the money, but they've already shown that fresh fruits and vegetables steamed have a higher vibration than fried stuff. And so if people, could eat as much fruit or juice something, for their children and stay as much as they can away from sugar. I put a post on my Instagram that says I need to learn how to stay, is it 6 feet away from my refrigerator because I've been doing some emotional eating, behind everything that's going on because I'm tired of being in the house. But I believe that this is what I had to learn, Janie, is that when I began to love myself, I wanted to put good food in my
Yeah.
body.
Right.
I wanted to run and exercise. And what the example that the Spirit gave to me was my car. I've been driving Mercedes for, I guess, 20 years. And I was on the road a lot and I was eating a lot of junk food. And I felt like Source or Spirit or God said to me, Constance, you would never put anything in your car, your Mercedes, other than premium.
That's true.
So why would you be putting these low grade food? And why do you do that, Constance? Because I love, appreciate, want to take care of my car.
Mm,
And what the Spirit said to me, you need to start doing that for yourself.
that's
And so once again, Janie, it goes back to loving and caring and cherishing for ourselves.
absolutely.
And even when it comes to exercise, I move my body. I'm a walker runner. I move my body uh, because I'm loving and caring and cherishing myself so that I can give, like you and Russell are doing, Janie, give back and serve others.
Yes.
So it's really a form of self love when it comes to the eating and the exercise. So people, we know we all are at home, so you can get out and walk, and they got tons of stuff on YouTube, all kind of planks challenges and sit up challenges and Pilates. But just begin to baby step your way toward new behavior. Baby step your way toward, I'm going to eat one fruit and one fresh vegetable a day. So you baby step and change your behavior, because I can tell where your life is going by your daily routine and choices.
Absolutely. That is so true.
That is very much so. So how do you feel, or what's your outlook on like the balancing of the mind, body, and soul as it pertains to the law of vibration? Like if one of them not
I think
sync, what happens?
It can't be.
if one of them out of sync, you off.
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm using me as an example again. Body, soul, and spirit. To me, your body is, what you eat, exercise, drinking water. Your soul is your emotions, your past, reading, nurturing that part, and we know what your spirit is. But I realized that when the coronavirus thing first hit, I was looking at a lot of news, and I'm not even a news person. I just got Netflix because my friends like, you need to get Netflix and look at some of those documentaries or something. And so I'm just not a TV person, but I became immersed in it. I have clients all over the world. I was looking what's going on with Italy.
Mhm.
And I realized for like a week, I did not have my quiet and my study time.
Mhm.
It threw me off.
Yep.
I was more impatient with traffic, and I knew, Russell, something was wrong when my dog went and hid under the bed. Like, I don't know what's up with my mama, but she need to do something. And so I
Yeah.
realized that I was off. I was
Yeah.
impatient when I went in the store. I was judgmental, was taking them so long. And so I think that's why they say every day you need to give, 20 minutes to exercise, 20 minutes to prayer and meditation, 20 minutes to reading, to continually have that balance.
Absolutely. I totally
I
agree
agree
with
with
that.
that.
Yeah. And so if a person is not moving or exercising or eating a lot of junk food, they just don't feel good.
And that
Mhm.
is so true.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of like that big difference between religion and spirituality. I think a lot of times, without throwing a baby out with the bathwater or slamming religion, a lot of times they get so caught up in the rituals and the belief of the religion that they forego health or different things of that nature and end up getting themselves in trouble. And really, they're out of balance.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. So
times I
true.
really don't go by what people say. I go by what they do. I watch people's actions, not.
Yeah. And you just brought up something. A lot of people ask me, Constance, how can you be a Christian and still teach the law of attraction?
Let's talk
Wow.
about
Let's
that.
talk about that.
And what does the Bible say, and what would Jesus do? And Russell, I've interviewed everybody and God on the law of
Wow.
attraction, and and my story behind that is, so a lot of Christians, well, the law of attraction is God, and what I tell people is that no, you have a personal relationship with
Yeah.
God, so it's the presence of God, but then over here you have the principles of God, which are the law of attraction, the law of giving and sowing, and all of that. So a lot of Christians believe that, the secret, they never said God, they said universe. And I know that was a different language. And but Rhonda Byrne, she just did the preview. Other people are doing, I just interviewed Dr. Joe Vitale again, and they're doing the secret part too. So, but for Christians, I get where they're coming from, but there is the presence and the power of God or spirit, but then there are universal fixed principles. So that's why you have a lot of Christians who go to church, not judging, because I am a Christian, and but then they don't have no money. But then they'll look over here to somebody like Jack Canfield, Russell Simmons, and other ballers who are just wealthy and rich and
Mm-hmm.
philanthropic. But there has to be a
Mm-hmm.
merger of the two. The spirit and the universal laws have
Mm-hmm.
to merge
Right.
I think I
together.
read somewhere, and I can't remember where this came from, but it went along the lines that if you're just spiritual and no earthly good, then it's useless. So if you just know
Yeah,
religion and principles, but you're not using it for earthly good, it's useless.
absolutely. And so I believe that a lot of, and I'm not judging, but I believe because I was a part of a big mega church for 20 years in leadership, etc. But to me, religion puts you in bondage, but spirituality
Gives
enlightens
freedom.
and
Mm-hmm.
And
gives you
that is
freedom.
so true. And going back to where you were speaking about the universal laws go back to the origination, right? So when God spoke things into existence and put the stars, the sun, the moon, and all the planets in orbit in their rotation, these laws existed then. We could look and find start dates for all the man-made religions, including the big three, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. We could find start dates for these things, but all of them are based upon the fundamental principles of universal law. So my whole thing is, why not go back to the source? It's like I take out the middleman, I go back to the source
Mm-hmm.
that put the stars, sun, and the moon. Like a lot of times you hear people talk about the Egyptians saying, oh, they worship the sun or whatever. But in the physical reality, the sun was the greatest physical manifestation. And they refer to it as God's son. And that's a whole nother story for another day where a lot of the religions spun off because God was the one that put the sun in place, right? And SUN in the sky does not
Right.
rise. There is no life on this earth. And it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of paralleling to the SON of God. That's another story for another day. But
Yeah,
universal law
you'll
to
confuse the
me
people.
supersedes it supersedes religion. But I think religion has its place because I think a lot of
It
people
does.
there's a lot of work involved in taking a spiritual journey, and it's a lonely journey.
Yes,
It,
and religion is a good way to
It
start. And
is.
if we go back to the law of gravity, we just believe it, right? We just know that if I, like you said earlier,
Yeah.
Constance, if I'm on the top of my roof and I decide to walk off the roof, I'm gonna fall on the ground. We're not gonna do it because we believe it, right? So the law of
well, we know it.
attraction is a universal law, just like gravity, and it has nothing to do with religion.
Nothing. It has nothing to do with how old you are, religion, or anything. It's a law
And it
that's
just is.
always
Whether you believe it
working.
or not.
Yeah. And so, see, it's working for the person who says it's not working. So when you say this is not working for me, things never work out for me, I tried that. And so when you say that, that law of attraction said, okay, if that's what you're saying,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you more back. Like the law of attraction is like the manager of the universe that gives back to you an exact replica of what you truly think, believe, say,
And that is
imagine,
a hundred
etc.
percent true. It's almost I always say that the universe or source is interactive, and it's similar to Google's like a mini version of it, right? So thing like that you're looking
Absolutely.
for, you're gonna find it. So if you want to say, okay, coronavirus is man-made, you type in Google coronavirus man-made, you're gonna find that. If you say cures for coronavirus, you're gonna find cures. So, and if you say you don't like something, you're gonna find what you don't like about something.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think about this? So, I also believe that the universe is always wanting to give you what you want. So we're going to talk about our words and what we're saying. So, Constance, do you also
Ooh, you took
I
you were reading
apologize.
my
Do
thoughts,
you also
Janie.
believe when people say, "Well, I don't want," you're going to get more of that because the universe want to give you what you want, right? Whatever you're concentrating on. So if I say, "I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to lose my house," those very things are going to happen because the universe doesn't know what you don't or do not. It's just picking up on the vibration of what you're putting out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know that your words really
Yeah,
frame and create your world. And I always say your words and your attention always precedes your manifestation. And so when you say, you know, I don't want to be laid off from work. I don't want to be furloughed. The universe hears that and it's going to give you exactly. And the law of attraction, like who's the manager of the universe, you use that word, I don't want, instead of I'm so happy and grateful. That all of my needs are met, whether I find a new job or whatever, that all of my needs are already met. I'm grateful for the abundance. So you begin to talk about and put your attention on only what you desire. So your words, I don't think your words should include I don't want to. And that's why affirmations this time, this season is so important. So you are affirming or declaring or decreeing what you want. Most of us think
exactly.
about what we don't want. But if you put your mind and your words and your affirmations and your scriptures on what you do want, then more of that will really begin to, come to
Yeah.
you. I am abundant. I am prosperous. I do have the mindset of Christ. I am tapping into the unlimited possibilities that exist now because we know that always during a crisis,
Mm.
there are great opportunities. So if people could open up, this is the opportunity for me to read a book. This is the opportunity for me to start a new project. This is the opportunity for me to take that certification course online. What are the possibilities that are happening now that exist in your life that
Yeah.
you can begin to
That's it.
affirm?
Words have so much power. And you know,
Something else just came to me, Janie. I
absolutely.
hope you don't mind.
And
It just hit me when you talked about
when I talked
gratitude
about what now?
earlier. You know,
Oh, yes.
you mentioned gratitude. Gratitude, they say, I mean, everybody I interview, Jack Campbell, all of the big guys, and all of the big shots, as my grandmother used to say, they say that next to love, that gratitude is the highest vibration. And so I say gratitude is the great multiplier and accelerator of manifestation. So if people right now, Jamie and Russell, could just begin to say, I'm
Yeah.
grateful for what I do have. I'm grateful for my house. I'm grateful for my dog. I'm grateful that I have gas in my car. I thank you.
Yeah.
So if they can focus on what they do have, and then it's kind of like an investment. It will begin to return to you more and more. If you're looking at what you don't have,
Exactly.
you're going
And
to
it's
get
like
more
that
of
gratitude.
that.
I've been in energy of gratitude where it's I feel it so much in my heart that it's almost you just want to cry because you're so grateful for everything, and it puts you in a position for more abundance to come in. It really does.
Yeah, I have a friend, Pam Grout. She's a New York Times best-selling author, and she wrote E Square, E Cubed, and some other stuff. But she wrote a New York Times best-selling book, Think
Mm.
and Grow Rich. And the whole book is about when you're thankful and when you're grateful and when you have extreme gratitude,
But
it'll bring
I
riches
can
to
tell
you.
you that I have experienced it like first. I've truly
Mm-hmm.
experienced just being in that energy and how so much more is brought to you. It's the same as, giving and receiving. The more you give out and you have a feeling, and you're giving with the right intention. Because like you said, attention is a big part of it, but your intent, like, why am I do this? What are my intentions behind my actions?
That's powerful insight, Janie. And now is a great time for people to really, what's the word I'm looking for? Activate the law
Yeah.
of circulation of giving. So a lot of people are scared, they holding on to stuff, but like you so eloquently said, that when like you and Russell, you guys are giving from a place of abundance because you wanting to serve, help, and empower people. And when you give from that place, it's a universal law that the law of circulation says, because you're giving from a place of abundance, the
Yeah.
universe is going to
I
have to
agree.
give it back to you.
Yeah, and I feel it every single day. Like I said, this
Mhm.
conversation puts me in a whole vibration that's just like I feel ascended, like way up.
Well, it literally it feeds the soul.
It does.
Oh, that's great insight. Russell has such deep
You're
thoughts.
welcome.
Thank you for saying that, Russell. And it's so true. It feeds your soul, and what you guys are doing, Janie and Russell, you're giving, but it's coming back to you. And I often tell people that my radio show for 11 years saved my life, because you cannot give at that level every week and it not just come back to you in just
Absolutely.
abundant avalanches of
Thank
Thank
abundance.
you.
So
you.
I commend you
Thank
guys.
you. So, Constance, tell the people how they can reach you and what services you offer.
Okay, you can go to my website, fulfillingyourpurpose.com. I currently coach clients on 5 continents. Uh, I have, when you go on there, you can see the different coaching packages that I have. You can reach me on Instagram at LOA Constance, Facebook Coach with Constance, and you could go to the Law of Attraction Radio Network, and I have over
That is
550 archived podcasts. So that's how you can reach me. And I feel that my gift is helping people to identify their stuff and then giving them baby step
Good
love
strategies
it.
to
stuff.
coach them
Constance, we
forward.
have two more questions and then we'll wrap it up.
Hmm.
So the first one is, what is
Okay.
a great book that you could recommend to our listeners? It Law of Attraction. It could be anything that you feel will be valuable to humanity.
Oh, Lord, why did y'all ask me that question? Oh, Lord, I'm going to say,
Matter of fact, let's make it
let
easy.
me
What
come
book
back
are
to
you
that one.
reading
Ask me
now?
the next
Ah,
question.
that's a good. Okay.
Okay, what book am I rereading? I am rereading uh, Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. So I would say any of Neville Goddard's book on the power of imagination, the power of assumption, and how to imagine. Oh, you got to
Mm-hmm.
remember Dr. Wayne Dyer, and even the lady who formed Hay House. Um, Somebody tell me her name.
You
I
said
forgot
the
her name. The founder of Hay
I've
House.
heard of Hay House.
She based a lot of her teaching on Neville Goddard. And so he was born like in the 1900s. Another one comes to me, Florence Scovel Shinn. She
Yeah,
was a
one that
bad girl, and
the
she wrote
game. I've
the
read it.
Game of Life and How to Play It.
Great book.
Okay, so those are good
Those would be
recommendations.
two.
And then, the second question is, right
Mm-hmm.
now, at the time of this podcast, in this present moment, because we believe practicing present moments, what is the matter of your heart? Where are you?
The matter of my heart is the power of being still in the midst of everything that's going on, and knowing that the Spirit will download to me what my next state, which is my being, and what my next step should be. And that I am surrounded, supported by
I love
love
it.
and
Wow.
Yeah,
wisdom. That's the
that's
matter of my
great,
heart.
great, great, great place to be.
Good stuff.
Because there's something to say that you are at peace in the midst of chaos.
And I think I'm at peace, and I have a lot going on in my business, a lot going on in my personal life, a lot of shifts. But I think
Oh,
because I
definitely.
know that it's inside, and the thing that I can control are my thoughts, my beliefs, my feelings.
Yeah.
I can do that moment by moment. So if I can learn to live in this moment, and then the next moment, and then the next moment, in one of those moments, $1 million idea could be downloaded to me. In one of those moments, an idea about how to serve people better could be downloaded to me. So if I can live and be in moment by moment,
Wow.
then that's where
That's
it's
good
at
Wow,
for me.
stuff.
that is.
Constance, this was an amazing conversation. I mean, we're very, very grateful and thankful that you took some time out to chat with us. Russell, did you have anything else?
Wow. I was sitting there listening to what she was saying.
I know, because it
It
leaves
was,
you just like
yeah.
in
But
awe.
but it reminded me of the African proverb when it says that if there's no enemy within, there's no enemy outside that can harm you.
That's true. That's true.
Profound. Profound. Well, I'm honored.
Yeah.
I'm honored to have been on your show. And both of you are just doing amazing work, empowering the lives of others. I always
That's
say, you never know who's listening.
That's true.
You never
Well,
know
thank you
whose
so
lives you're
much,
changing.
Definitely.
Constance.
Thank you.
And take care, be safe, stay healthy in all of this that's going on.
Stay.
And you guys will have to meet for coffee or
Definitely.
tea
Yeah.
once
We're gonna
all of
put
this
that
is
on my
over.
list for sure.
All right. So this has been another episode of Matters of the Heart
Mm-hmm.
and Soul podcast with Constance Arnold on Law of Attraction. Stay tuned for our next episode. Talk to you later, Constance. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.